Hello to everyone. Today we are doing primal alcohol, types of alcohols, that is primal, secondary, and tertiary alcohol. Remember that the alcohols has the functional group which is COH, COH, and it is known as hydroxyl group, that is the functional alcohol. So the hydroxyl, that is OH group, the hydroxyl group can be on on a first carbon, second, third, and so on and so on. So we have three types of alcohols. That is, we have the primary alcohol. That is the first one. Then we have the secondary alcohol, tertiary alcohol, and so on. Let's start with the primary alcohol. The primary alcohol is the alcohol whereby we have only one C, that is one carbon that is bonded to a carbon with OH group, that is hydroxyl group. Okay, that is the primary alcohol. Very simple like that. Only one carbon atom that is attached to a carbon with OH group, which means thina sizingela le carbon inabani in OH group. That is this one. Okay, sizingela yona la carbon, right? Sizingela la carbon inabani in OH group. All right, now let's look at this example. 1 2 3 4. So in this example I have OH here, then I have H, 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 I have H. Then thina sizingela the carbon with OH group. So this is the carbon, right? With the OH group, this is the carbon. How many carbon atoms that are attached to it? I can see only one carbon atom, this one. This is the only carbon atom that is attached to this carbon. Therefore, the butane 1-ol is a what? Is a primal alcohol, right? Let's go to another type of alcohol. Which is the secondary alcohol. So it is very simple. There are only two carbon atoms that are bonded to a carbon with the OH group, with the hydroxyl group, right? So here there are two carbon atoms that must bond to a carbon with OH group. That is what? The secondary alcohol. Okay, now if you can look at this one, I have OH group here. I have OH group. OH group. So the name of this one is a butane 2-ol. Okay, now esijonge le carbon esithetha ngayo, the carbon with the OH group. This is the carbon with the OH group. How many carbon atoms that are attached to this carbon. So we have this one, this is one, this is another carbon atom. So we have 2 carbon atoms that are attached to this carbon. So since there are 2, this is the secondary alcohol. Okay, let me have another example of secondary alcohol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. There is OH group here. So we have hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. So this one is known as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as pent-3-all. Okay, but here we must join a carbon with OH. But how many carbon atoms bonded to it? So we have this carbon 1, this is another carbon 2. So there are 2 carbon atoms bonded to a carbon with OH group, which means this is the secondary alcohol, right? We also have the tertiary alcohol. Tertiary alcohol. In the tertiary alcohol, there are 3 carbon atoms. 3 carbon atoms with that are bonded to a carbon, that are bonded to C with OH group. Okay, so we have 3 carbon atoms. Okay, let's make an example. So we have 3 carbon atoms that are bonded to the carbon with OH group. Okay, let's have an example. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have this branch. Then we have OH here. So with this alcohol, this is the tertiary alcohol. Okay, let's just name it 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 2-methyl. Snap branch every number 2. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Then we have 4 carbon atoms, butane alcohol. OH is on number 2. Okay. Now if you see the name, there is 2-ol and 2-methyl. So the number 2 is 2. Therefore, this is what a tertiary alcohol. Tertiary alcohol. Look at this one. This is the carbon we are talking about with OH group. There are 3 carbon atoms. Nansi uqala, nansi isibini carbon atom, nansi esithathu. There are 3 carbon atoms attached to this carbon. Therefore, this is a tertiary alcohol, right? Now let's go to saturated and unsaturated compounds. Sorry for that. Saturated. Alright, saturated and unsaturated. This is another terminology that you need to know. Saturated organic compounds. Okay, saturated organic compounds. Now, the definition for saturated organic compound is all organic compounds, organic molecules or compounds, organic, okay, molecules that has no multiple bond between carbon atoms. The multiple bond can be a multiple bond. A multiple bond can be a double bond or a triple bond. If these compounds has no multiple bond between carbon atoms, so are said to be saturated. For example, alkanes, they have no multiple bond between carbon atoms. They have a single bond between carbon atoms. Haloalkanes have the what? A single bond between carbon atoms. Alcohols, they have a single bond between carbon atoms. Ketones, they have a single bond between carbon atoms. Aldehydes, carboxylic acids, esters, all of these have a single bond between carbon atoms. Then we have unsaturated molecules or compounds. The unsaturated compounds, they have at least organic compounds with at least one multiple bond between carbon atoms, right? So there must be at least one multiple bond between carbon atoms. For example, alkenes, the functional group for alkenes is a carbon double bond carbon. The double bond is a multiple bond. Alkynes, they have a triple bond between carbon atoms. Therefore, these are the only compounds that are said to be unsaturated because they have the multiple bond between carbon atoms. Okay, so in the next video we are going to start naming the compounds, that is the IUPAC naming. This is what we are going to do on the next video. Thank you. Bye. Make sure that you subscribe or comment, then you like the video. Thank you very much.